Alright, I made one video and it was too long, so I'm making another. Um, just going over a quick couple things before I send these gearboxes out to everybody. Um, First thing is, all of the screw holes and all of the holes in the entire assembly are smaller than what you're probably gonna need. Meaning, this pin, this should be pretty standard. The hop-up hole, the rear hole in the back, all the screw holes are slightly smaller than what's needed, but I did that for a reason, and I'll explain it in a second. You're going to need coarse thread screws to screw the gearbox closed. There are 5 in the lower half and 4 in the upper. The 4 are shorter, and then you have 5 long. Come on, camera. What are you doing? There we go. The hole for the hop-up is too small. If you notice, it's slightly flat on the bottom and slightly flat on the top. I did that so that you can sand, file, drill, whatever you want to do to make the hole bigger to fit your hop-up exactly. That way you can use the gearbox itself to move your hop-up, up if it needs to go up, or down if it needs to go down, to help the front of the gearbox go down if it needs to go down, and vice versa. The back, again, the hole is not exactly perfect, but the screw does fit through it, and I mean, it works. It's just not perfect. The raised section here is raised higher than your standard gearbox would be, and that's so that it purposely tilts the front down so that you can sand that and bring it up until it's perfectly centered inside your lower receiver. The trigger assembly, this half is larger this way, lengthwise. See where it comes past on the other half? And I did that so that people can use, you're going to have to file that a little bit, or sand it, or trim it with wire cutters, or whatever you want to do, so that you can basically trim it to be a hard stop for the trigger so that it doesn't overextend and it doesn't break the micro switch. The micro switch only needs to go about halfway down to activate, so in theory it could help you with short stroking. A lot of people, they short stroke by putting stuff on the bottom here, but that doesn't make it, go past, stop going past where it needs to go past. Again, I mean, there's a lot of stuff as far as making it fit in your gun perfect that I've done to try. You're gonna notice there's a small gap here. I did that on purpose. I printed the halves. This is an unmodified, untrimmed, nothing. This came off the printer, 2 hours ago, give or take. I don't know, it's 6 o'clock here, so back to it. I made them thinner slightly. That way it grips your cylinder head tightly, so that any movement, left, right, up, down, or back and forth that the cylinder would have, the engine would have, any of that stuff, it is eliminated, because it's not going nowhere. It is 100% stuck. It's not going to move. When stuff doesn't move, alignments don't get messed up. Other thing I did, which you might have to do, slight modifications, and it's not even a modification, is sanding one side or the other. I wouldn't suggest this side if you can, to fit inside your gun. I've tested it with, I don't know, 7, 8 bodies, and they all fit, but they all fit tightly. And I did that so that the gearbox doesn't move, you know, side to side inside the gun. It's centered, and that eliminates a problem with that. Some grips. I have found one grip out of probably 10 that I've tested that won't fit on it due to the gap here inside being too small, in which case you can either just sand the inside of your grip or sand where the grip goes on the gearbox itself so that it's snug. I wanted to make these things as universal as possible while also making them as strong as possible. So everything is as thick as it can possibly be. So don't be afraid to remove material because it's probably thicker than it needs to be. Just, you know, don't get carried away with it. I lost my train of thought there. Screws here for the grip. You're going to need coarse thread screws to go through there. If you're running a lower line, that's no problem. Just run it out there like normal. If you're running a rear connect, you know, just drill a hole. It's only plastic, so it does cut easy if you own a Dremel or a drill. It's going to be a lot easier than if you were doing the metal gearbox. Drilling, if you do drill it, again, tight tolerances. This is a safety cutoff lever. It fits in there, but it is very snug. So when you drill, do not drill fast. It is plastic. Plastic gets hot, it warps, and then you have a ruined gearbox. So just drill slow. Don't get the plastic too hot, and you shouldn't have any problems. I don't even run those safety. I just unhook my airline. Uppers. This is a plastic G&G. Again, it does have a little bit of wiggle room, but it's not in there. I mean, I wanted it to be tight because I want it not to move, because I want your alignment to stay right. Split gearbox guys, I'm sorry. I am working on it. It's just not coming out how I want, and it's frustrating, and I decided to put it off for right this moment until I can get these orders filled and done, shipped out. I cannot be frustrated with the split version anymore, and I can go back to work on it without issues. And it's, trust me, it's not for a lack of, you know, not trying. I have a lot of test versions here, uppers and lowers, and I have been trying. It's 6 o'clock here in Florida. I have the printer going still. It's been going for about 3 days straight, trying to get it done, get them out. Here's my next project, GMP Stoner, I think. It's already SMPs having range issues, so I'm going to make them a new gearbox for that. I am working on a version 3 gearbox as well. I think with the version 6 and 7 and 8 and all of them, I'm not going to worry about because they're not all that common unless I get enough requests. I think I went over everything, you know, just file and sand carefully. Use coarse thread screws, and I mean, if you take your time, it's going to come out perfect, and we're aiming for perfect because if it's not perfect, it's not shooting perfect. If it's not shooting perfect, you're missing shots. If you have any questions, just go ahead and shoot me a PM, and I will get back to you as soon as I humanly can. I'm working as fast and as long as possible on this stuff, trying to get it done for you guys. Yeah, it's 6 a.m., 6:03. And I'm still up working on this stuff from yesterday. So, if you have any questions or concerns, just shoot me a PM and I'll reply to you as fast as I can. I'm trying to get all these done today so that I can get them shipped out tomorrow, cleaned up today and shipped tomorrow. That way, hopefully, you guys can get them Saturday or Monday. I think that's it.